Hey, Shalom, Akim, Yabashim Yashai, Barakatham, Bashem, Rakak Badash, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Bashem, Rakak Badash. Give double honors to our apostle elders, which are the apostle elders a great millstone, which will feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the power of Yahbashim Yashai. This right here is a video. This is GMS Closer Look. Lord willing, I can start doing these more just to dive into, different scriptures and get, a little bit more understanding on them. Or if news stories, usually, the spirit I like to be in is I like to tie the news in with the scriptures and prophecy as much as possible. So right now, this is called The Smith. GMS Closer Look, The Smith, okay? I really just woke up. I don't know where this idea really, I mean, I know where it came from, but as I dived into it, I started finding out different things and articles that back up the scriptures wholly, man. Okay? Some people can say, oh, the Bible was, that was written by man and it was tampered with, but it's linking up with modern day, what's going on right now. So right now, without further ado, let's jump right into it. This says, this is an article that I found through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. It says 7 great examples of scientific discovery made in dreams. Okay? Made in dreams. All right, so I'm going to read a couple of these examples, and then we're going to go through the scriptures, and then Lord willing, this is edifying, Aparatazah. But this right here is a faith booster too, to know that what is written in the scriptures is true. Anytime that the scriptures can be show validity or show truth, that right there should boost your faith to know that you're in the right thing and you're in the right path. Okay, so always remember that the Lord will give us different things to strengthen our faith. He don't need to show us chariots come down and beam a light on you and show you by that means. No, it's simplicity. Okay. So let's read this article. It says 7 great examples of scientific discoveries made in dreams. It says, while we sleep, our subconscious mind continues to work on problems our conscious mind have failed to solve. Okay, because that's going into the spirit. Once you dream, that's you in the spirit world, as it may say, before you leave your actual body and you go to the spirit world. When you dream, okay, that's you going into the spirit realm. Okay, and it says that's why some people, they call it out of body experiences. Okay, it says most people who have struggled with crossword clues known that sometimes they have found that they answer easily after sleeping on the problem. Sleeping on it has also led to major scientific discoveries, such as the 7 examples below. All right, so let's go into the first one. Is the main one that got me. Okay, it says discovery of the periodic table. If you know what the periodic table is the table of elements. Okay, the Lord has allowed Esau to see that the elements is broke down in a certain order. That's why it says everything must be done decently and in order. So this guy is going to go into that, and it was really amazing to me once I seen this. Okay, it says Medev periodic table still growing. Okay, it says with his long hair, his beard, and this guy was known to have a beard and he only cut it once a year. Okay, and it says, and his passion for chemistry, Dmitry Medvedev was a chemist professor who had his beard cut once a year. Okay, and it says Dmitry was obsessed with finding logical way to organize the chemical elements. It had been preying on his mind for months. In 1868, wrote the elemental names on cards, one element on each card. He then wrote the properties of every element on his own card. He saw that um, atom weights was important in some way, but he could not find a pattern. Convinced that he was close to discovering something significant, and he was close to discovering something significant, because this is going to lead into a discovery of more things. which is going to further prophecy. Okay, so the Lord chose this man to give him the breakdown of the periodic table. It says Medelev moved the cards about for many hours until finally he fell asleep on his desk. All right, he fell asleep, and look what happened. And it says when he wrote, it says when he awoke, he found that his subconscious mind had done his work for him. A logical arrangement of elements had come to him. He later wrote, now this is an excerpt from his exact mouth. He said here from the horse's mouth, and it says, in a dream, I saw a table where all the elements fell into place as required. Awakening, I immediately wrote it down on a piece of paper. So that's the Lord showing, giving this guy the understanding of the periodic table in a dream. Okay? You can't tell me that ain't, and now we're going to back it up with the scriptures. This is Job 33 and 15. That's why, man, you got to have 100% truth. Once you have 100% truth, you can tie things like this. This is Job 35 and 15. It says, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumbering upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw men from his purpose and hide pride from man. Because this guy, with his pride, he thought he could do it himself. So the Lord had to come in and move on his mind to bring him to the point of understanding what the periodical table was, because he wasn't a special guy. He was a special for the purpose, but he was set up to bring forth more this elemental understanding, which would bring forth more technology, which I'll get into in a minute. And it says, he keepeth back his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword. That's going into something else. But that's showing you right there that, look, when men falleth asleep, I'll read 16 again. Then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. So he tells them what to do by that, by going into their mind, working on their spirit, and bringing forth what? That understanding that needs to what? Bring forth the Most High's will. That's why it says what? He bloweth the coals. So I'll get that in a second. This is Job 4 in verse 13. And it says let me start at 12. Now a thing was secretly brought to me, and mine ears received a little thereof. I thought, it says, in thoughts from the vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth on men, fear cometh on me, and trembling which made all my bones shake. So the main point is on 13. It says, in thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth on men. See, so when you fall that deep sleep, they call it REM sleep. When you go into that deep, deep sleep, then the Lord puts the instructions in your mind and puts what he wants you to bring forth. Okay, which is a beautiful thing, because that shows you the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. This is Isaiah 54 and verse 16. And it says, behold, I have created the smith. See, so the Lord has created the smith. What goes into these missiles? This is the main point. This is the main verse I wanted to go into. But the word there for create is bara. All right. Bara. All right. And it says to create, shape, form. The Lord shapes the minds of these men to bring forth his own work. It says to shape, fashion, create in heaven of earth, individual man. See? Individual man. A new condition of circumstances of transformation. So once you get the transformation is from what? Not knowing something to the Lord revealing it unto your mind, to where then now you can what? Break it down. So the Lord transforms men's minds into the ways that he wants it to be created, of heaven and earth, of birth, of something new, of miracles, to cut down, to cut out, to make yourselves fat. So the main point, the Lord creates the mentality for these things to take place. And it says, behold, I created the smith that blew off the coals in the fire and bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Now, this right here is an article. It says what? The search for new elements on the periodic table started with a blast. So what blast is that? A thermonuclear blast. See that? You see how important the periodic table played on the creation of the nuclear bomb, man. Hey, shalom to you, Akim on the board, man. Yabashim Yashar Brakathon to you, brothers, man. Hey, man. Hey, this is beautiful, man. You brothers just jumping in. The point is, I'm going in on how the Lord created this guy. He gave the man that created the periodical table. He gave him the inspiration for the periodical table in a dream. And then this is a quote right here from him. It says, in a dream, I saw a table where all the elements fell into place as required. Awakening, I immediately wrote it down on a piece of paper. What should come to your mind? Remember what happened to Peter? When Peter fell on a dream and that table, that cloth came down before him with the abominable things on it, okay? And Peter, he said, I'm not eating unclean. So that showed right there, the Lord was saying, look, there was a deeper meaning. He says, what the Lord has cleansed, call not an unclean. So the Lord dealt with these guys on the dream. So now, look where it goes now. It says, the search for new elements on the periodic table started with a blast. It says, so the periodical table has expanded again with the additional late last year of 4 new super heavy elements, bringing the known total up to 118. But the hunt for new elements started with the efforts of developed nuclear power and atomic bomb during the World War II. At the time, uranium was the heaviest known element, sitting at number 92 in the periodic table. So look how important the periodic table was to creating the nuclear weapon, which now we can go back into Isaiah 54:16, where it says what? Read it again. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. So this guy was the main guy that created the periodical timetable. He arranged it in a way that was understandable. Ergo, that's a Matrix joke. And then go back to this. It says the search for new elements. Oh, hey, that's it. I got to get it. This is Sirach 38:16, and says he have given men skill that he might be honored in his marvelous works. Ooh wee! One more time. Sirach 38:6. He have given. It says and he have given men skill. What skill? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. Because this says what? We're gonna praise Yahweh Shemiah Shai in the fire. So these things that are taking place around are to glorify the Lord, because it says what? It says, but the hunt for the new element started with efforts to develop nuclear power and atomic bomb during World War II. At the time, uranium, let me jump down. Researchers quickly discovered that when uranium is placed in a nuclear reactor, a complex sequence of interactions leads to the production of several so-called transuric elements beyond uranium. So through them messing with the table, they discovered more elements, which discovered more ways to make the powerful bomb that's going to be used to touch Babylon the Great in the time of destruction and judgment, man. It says probing around in the debris of the first hydrogen bomb test revealed 2 future transuric elements, antimony and ferminium, bringing the total to an even 100. So some of these elements are more commonly encountered than you might think. More families would own some uranium elements. Number 95. Okay, but the main point I just wanted to go through and bring this out. It says beyond the point, it's saying, look, these guys were the Lord put the instruction in their mind to discover certain elements, and it goes on. Let me see if I can find one else. Let me see if there's another one right here. This is a good one. This is a discovery of structure of benzene in the aromatic chemistry, okay? It says August Kakul had been worried about how the atoms in benzene are arranged. It was a tough problem because the ratio of carbon and hydrogen, which goes back to the periodical table, atomic, was unlike that seen in any other hydrocarbon compound. On a cold night in 1965, check this out, he wrote on a problem in his room. Unable to find a solution, he turned to his chair to a fire and dozed. He began dreaming of atoms dancing gradually. The atoms arranged themselves into the shape of a snake. And what should come to your mind when you hear snake? Wisdom. That's why it says be what? Wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. So it arranging itself in the form of a snake was a symbolic of wisdom was coming in this dream. Once you see serpents should be tied into wisdom. And doves is innocence and timid. Okay? And it says, unable to find a solution, he began dreaming of atoms dancing gradually, and atoms arranged themselves in the shape of a snake. When the snake turned around and bit its own tail, the image of the snake tail in its mouth continued to dance before his eyes. When Kukul awoke, he realized that the dream had been telling him benzene molecules are made up of rings of carbon atoms. See that? Rings. Understanding the aramic ring opening up an enormous important new field of chemistry, new understanding of chemical bonding. So like it says, man, the Lord created this, man. He put the spirit on him to create the work that you see now, man, which is beautiful. Let me see if I can get let me see here, one more scripture. You know what, man? I think that's a good spot, man. Lord willing, like it says, I'm going to read Isaiah one more time. This is Isaiah 54:16. It says, behold, I have created the smith. It wasn't the smith create themselves. The Lord Yahweh Shah put the spirit on them to create the things that they created. I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Some chemistry is an instrument of his work also, too. It says instrument of his work, and I've created the waster to destroy. Just like you see here with the splitting of the atom, all right, and how they figured out how to make this weapon that's going to bring forth judgment, man. So with that, I want to give all praise and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakar Badash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakar Badash for this truth, knowledge, and wisdom. Lord willing, this is edifying, and we close, man. This is beautiful. This is a GMS closer look. Lord willing, we can do more of these and dive into some more scriptures, man. Baratazah, Shalom, Akim, keep faith.